Alright guys, today we're going to be working back on the mezzaluna knife. This one right here. I have some design changes to discuss with you, so bear with me. We'll get over to the workbench and I'll talk to you about what I'm going to change and why I made this decision. Alright guys, so here we go. We've got the blade and we've got the handle, and the reason I'm changing is because right here, when I was drilling through to put the pin material in there, I found out I made a mistake. And that is, this cut is at an angle, so when my hole was going straight in, it, well, missed completely. I only got about half. But one other thing I was thinking is, with this being, the blade being in here like this, alright, if it were to ever get stepped on or anything like that, and it gets that twerking motion, it gets this motion right here where it bends this way, I know antler's strong, but it could possibly break this over time, over wear, or loosen up. So what I'm going to do is, I forged out a piece of mild steel, and we're going to take and weld this on there and make this a full tang fixture. So I'm going to weld it on these two ends, and then I'm going to take and split the antler as close as I can down the middle, and we'll put antler handles on it. This will definitely give it a stronger construction, and that we'll still get the antler look from it, you know, even if we have the scale somewhere in here. So I'm gonna get this marked out, because I do got to notch it a little bit. We're gonna take and notch it here, kind of come around there, come around there, and down through there. So that's what I'm going to do there. I've got that area that I'm going to notch, and I got that area that I'm going to notch. So I'll notch that real quick and weld it up, and I'll come back to you, and we'll decide. We'll look at this as, you know, what usable antler we have, and I have some other antler that we may be able to use and get more of a covered tang, since I, you know, screwed this one up. But we'll see. Let's start with this, and as soon as I get these notched and welded, I'll be right back to you. Alright guys, as you can see, I got that welded on. I think that design just looks better. It'll definitely give it more strength. I mean, I just really like the way that is. I wish I would have done this from the start. If I ever do make something similar to this again, I'm going to do that, whether it be out of the whole steel or just out of mild steel and welding it on like that. I know that's not real traditional, but I mean, with something like this, guys, trying to forge weld this or slit it and open it up out of a wide piece of steel is doable. It's probably a little bit easier for more novice blacksmith, because grinding the welds out did take some time. But nonetheless, this is the way I did it. May I do it again differently the next time? Yeah, probably, because taking and punching a hole, slitting, and spreading that out is probably a lot easier than what I did. But that's just the way I did it this time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut off where these holes are at and take a look at what that's going to give us. If I like how much that's going to cover, then I will split it and use this piece. If not, then I'll just get another piece that's similar. Let me get these cut and I'll be back to you. Alright guys, so here's the handle, cut off at the ends and cut in half. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to lay the first piece on there, kind of position it right where I want, and I think this is going to be just fine because it comes right to the points. I'm going to have to ground them down a little bit, just to kind of smooth the transition a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take a small dab of CA glue, which is essentially super glue. Put it right there on there and put this in place where I want it, and just kind of hold it there for a second and let that sit up. Alright, so now that we've got this, I'm going to do one side at a time. So I'm going to take, and on the inside here, mark some lines just so I can cut out where I want and everything. And I'm going to drill the holes in this. And I'm only going to put 2 pins, you know, kind of close to the end there. So let's get, one of these should mark on it, yeah. So we're going to take and just draw some lines there. So I'm going to go over to the drill press, drill me a couple holes there, and that way if it pops off when I'm drilling, I've got my lines to go by to kind of get a close grind to it. Alright guys, this is going to be a little tricky because I got to hold this pretty flat. So let's get you over here to where you can see a little something. So I'm just going to kind of cross my fingers, hope I don't have no alignment issues. I know this is not the best way of doing it. It's the only way I can really think, because I don't have a vise for my drill press yet. Alright guys, I decided it was probably best to get a glove on holding this with my hand, just in case. Alright guys, so we got that, the holes drilled in it, and it's somewhat shaped, so it'll hook on, you know, somewhere in that ballpark, right like that. And then what we're going to do for this side to make sure everything lines up is I'm going to go ahead and, same as I did last time, I'm going to get it set where I want, put a dab of CA glue somewhere there in the middle, and we're just going to push down and hold it for a second, just like the last side. Alright, mark it out. Alright, now to make sure the holes kind of somewhat are going at the same angle, I'm going to drop a pin into there, which is just going to be the same size drill bit, so that hole lines up perfectly. I'm going to run the drill bit down through there, and that way this kind of uses it as a guide so that they're going in the same angle and everything. Hopefully, if the first ones are drilled off kilter a little bit, this will make it easier for the pins to slide through. So let's go back over to the drill press and we'll get on that. Alright guys, here we go. Alright, well, that didn't work, so we're going to there's that one. So what we're going to do is take and drop our pin, stop all the way through, and we're going to go for this one. Alright, and that one's all the way through. Do a little test fit right there. And there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and get this other side shaped up. I'm not going to take you along for it. You've seen how I kind of did with this one. Once I get it shaped, we'll see how I want the contours of it and everything, see how it feels in the hand, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we got the handle shaped and everything. Now what we're going to do is get a little acetone. You can use nail polish, paint thinner, whatever you want, but you want to clean them parts pretty good. To where the glue bonds even and good with everything, and there's not no oil or grease on it that'll prevent it from getting a good bond. Pin 1 and pin 2. little acetone, clean up the squeeze out around the blade and around the ends. Alright guys, so we got that all glued up. I'll let that set since I don't have to do a whole lot of handle shaping to it, because I did primarily most of it before I attach the handles. I'll let it set up for about an hour. It is 10-minute epoxy, or 5-minute epoxy, excuse me. So I'll let it set up for about an hour, hour and a half. Depends on how long my other project takes. And I'll come back to you and we'll finish this thing up today. Alright guys, so here it is all glued up. We're going to go over to the grinder, grind down the pins a little bit, clean up this back edge. I'll take a file or my Dremel and clean up this inside edge there. We'll put an edge on it and it'll be complete. Alright guys, so there's the handle. All I gotta do is clean it up a little bit with some hand sandpaper. There's the edge. I put a little bit of a polish on it, just the final edge. It's got a convex edge, so it just needs a little stropping after I clean up the handle, and it'll be ready to go. So I'm just going to take some fine sandpaper and sand real quick, and I'll get right back to you and we'll wrap this thing up. Alright guys, well there it is. Feels pretty decent in the hand, and it is pretty sharp. Let me set you up and I'll show you. So she'll get the job done. Well guys, thank you for following along with me on this mezzaluna knife build. I learned a little bit. I know how I'll do things differently next time. Instead of trying to do just the antler, I'll do the full tang. Probably slit and drift it like I was saying before, but it was a fun build. I was glad I was challenged like this. I like to have a challenge. I have a lot of interesting things coming up in the future, so if you like what I do, please subscribe, like, and comment, and share it with anybody you think would be interested in it. And if you have any comments about how I could do differently, or what I should have done differently or anything like that, just leave in the comments. I'm glad to hear from anybody. I like constructive criticism. So y'all have a good day, guys. Catch you on the next one.